here with Joe Koester. Joe works at Eagle Savings and Loan.
Got it.
I asked him to sit down with us for a few minutes and talk about the process from soup to nuts of getting a mortgage. Joe, how long have you been doing this for?
I've been with Eagle for 16 years now.
I wake up today and I say, I think I'm ready to buy a new home, and I've got to get pre-approved. Pull your number out. Where does it start?
I think it depends really on how long or if you've done this before. So if you're a first-time home buyer, I would recommend a sit-down meeting with me. We pull out a new legal pad and we start writing some notes down, running some numbers together, and do the pre-qualification process from my office. If you've been through this before, we have an online portal that you can complete the application through, and I can tend to get that application finished and the pre-approval written within 24 hours, usually less. I do recommend meeting a telephone call so that we can run numbers specifically on the property that you're looking for, or casually run numbers on properties generically.
I'm optimistic that we're going to see a very resilient November and December.
I think so too.
If I haven't purchased a home, gotten a mortgage, and call it 7 years, 10 years, is there going to be a major difference in the process from what I was doing 10 years ago as to today?
Regulations are always changing, and it's up to me to make sure that we stay on top of those regulations and explain them as simply as possible. But we do have an array of products, so I'm going to cater that product to your particular situation. So if you've been down this road 7 to 10 years ago and now you're trying to do it again here today, your life has probably changed. What product you used 7 to 10 years ago is likely not going to be the product that you're going to use today.
Say I'm moving here for mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
Is the loan process going to be the same?
Generally, it's going to be relatively.
Okay.
We can generally get you the pre-approval. If you've got me on the telephone or you're in my you're in my office and we're meeting together, we're going to get that pre-approval done pretty much same day. Now, there are some variances there. If you're self-employed and I need to check in with your accountant and review tax returns, that may add to the timeline, but generally speaking, I'm going to get you your pre-approval same day.
Now we've gotten you that information to get the pre-approval. I'm armed to go house hunting, fresh letter that says you're going to support me in my purchase.
Sure.
I go out and I contract a house tomorrow. I make formal application with you to process a loan. How long does that take?
The application itself from start to finish, once you are under contract to purchase a property, we like to be clear to close 10 days before the closing date that was negotiated on the contract. That said, if you're writing a 30-day contract, we're probably going to be ready to rock and roll in 20 days.
Okay, that's pretty fast. That's a lot. I mean, that should give people some comfort for understanding what they're doing, what their expectations should be, and some comfort for the selling side also that we've got a good contract and it's going to go through the process pretty smoothly. When we talk about the expenses that are involved with the mortgage, I mean, it's not just we have let's call it a $400,000 home. It's not just $400,000. You're putting a certain amount down, mm-hmm. and that's going to depend on the product that somebody gets from you, or is it always 20%?
So you don't have to put 20% down. You can put as little as 3% down on a conventional loan, 5, 10, 15, or 20%, perhaps even more if you'd like. We have an array of products that will cater to all of those down payment percentages. The closing cost portion is going to be slightly different depending on the down payment percentage, but all in all, our closing costs are relatively the same.
Closing costs kind of vary from one lender to the next. I mean, most of the closing costs they're broken down into.
So we've got an origination fee, appraisal fee, and title fees, and those in combination will total the closing costs.
So these are the bank fees.
You got it.
And then the out-of-pocket expenses are the common fees that are also wrapped into your closing costs, and they are what?
Prepaid items,
yeah.
Which would take care of your annual homeowner's insurance premium, any remaining days of interest. So let's say you close on the 15th of the month, you'd be responsible for 15 days of interest from the day of closing through the end of the month.
To the end of the month. In the mortgage, that first payment, let's say we close on the 15th of the month, When is my first payment due?
Well, if you close on the 15th of November here in a few days, your first payment would be due then January 1st. You'd be skipping the month of December.
Okay, so the payments are paid in arrears.
All payments are paid in arrears. So January's payment pays December's interest, February's payment pays January's interest, and a roll like that for the life of the loan.
I am familiar, and I do know these things. I just want to make sure we're enunciating it here to get these questions out that are fairly common when I'm sitting down with somebody and they ask, when do my payments start and where do they end? So the gist of the information that we're trying to get to is that when you reach out to your lender, Joe, we want you to be informed. We want you to make sure that you have good rapport and you have somebody who, when you call them, they pick up the phone. Because for most of my buyers, the home purchase is usually the largest or one of the largest investments they make in their lives. We want to make sure that we have somebody there that is going to be supportive of your questions and get you the responses. Whether they know the answers when you ask, or they just say, hey, I don't know, and I'll get right back to you. It's important to have support from somebody that you have comfort for and can sleep well at night knowing that you have somebody working with you.